With everything going on in the world, especially in the United States, during these difficult times, it is important that you prioritize self care, whether you are at home or on the road. I'm going to start out with a few tips that benefit the body. Number one is going to be yoga. I do this daily now. Shout out to Yoga with Adrian. In fact, yesterday, because the Oscars was on, I did yoga for actors. That was pretty cool because sometimes it feels like I'm performing on this channel for y'all. And it is really good to practice the poses. I can even do this in the airport. DFW International Airport has a yoga studio, which is amazing. It can reduce flight anxiety when you hit the mat. They have mats there. They were out of the sanitization wipes. You can do some poses that you already have in mind. I recommend downward facing dog. You could do child's pose. A lot of these are short, quick, 30 seconds to a minute, and it helps to lower your heart rate. I love beach yoga. Yoga is a ritual that I am glad that I implemented in my life. And it is a type of exercise. Other ways that you can benefit your body would be by taking daily walks, running, okay, getting the cardio up. You could go to the gym, do some weightlifting. Dancing is another way to lift your spirits. It is a mood booster, I would like to call it. I recently started doing the TikTok dances. If it gets too complicated, I'm looking at the choreographers half the time, I don't really be dancing for real. I see how they do it and then I just modify it because if I don't get the dance steps right, that can take the fun out of it. I want this to be a fun way, for me to get some cardio in. And you can dance how you would if you were at home when no one's watching. Remember, movement is medicine. Now, for the exercise and the walking, you want to try to do this daily. If you want it to be moderate, 20 to 30 minutes, and if it's vigorous, I would at least aim for 60 to 75 minutes at least once a week, no matter what the weather is. Another way would be by soaking your body. I'm talking about the hot baths. This is something that I've been recently put on to, if I am not at a spa, I can bring the spa to my bathroom at home. I don't have to be, paying out a lot of dollars to do it. There are great ways for you to relax your body by just sitting and soaking in the hot temperature that you can withstand. You could use Epsom salt. In Atlanta, when I was traveling, I took a day to do this. It was mostly just the morning. I did an oatmeal bath bomb that was very relaxing. I think there are honey soaks. There's different ones. Some people like to use bubble bath. They can drop in some essential oils and really set the mood with some candles, maybe some dried flowers. You owe this time to yourself. You could do it at the end of the day, at the end of the trip. And it's really great for you to sit and soak. Play some Zen music. I have a spa playlist on YouTube. Also, the hot cold therapy. When I was in Orlando, I had the opportunity to visit the Hilton spa. I was there on a resort pass and they had the steam room. Y'all, it was blazing hot in there. So I would advise that you go to the cold shower first. Yes, it is freezing. It is going to shock your body for like 10 seconds. But after that, go into the steam room, sweat it out. I'd say 5-10 minutes. Make sure you are hydrating. They have a refrigerator with water bottles in it. And then when you're done, go back into the cold shower. It is like euphoric. I remember doing this in Iceland. Those Nordic countries, they have this down packed. It is great way, the hot cold therapy for you just to kind of reset. It helps build immunity. It is awesome. I did it yesterday and now I feel better. You could do it at home. I would say start out as hot as you can stand it for maybe a minute, shut it off, and then do it as cold as you can stand it. It's going to be cold all the way to the right, however your shower head works or your shower handle works. You could do it a couple more cycles and go on about your day. And sometimes when I am on the floor with the mat, Adrian talks about like, when is the last time that you touched yourself? I'm not talking about with no rose, that type of stimulation. I mean where you are giving back to your body, showing love. You can do this by massaging your ankles if you are sitting in the cross-legged pose. I don't know what she calls it, sukhasana. I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong. You can massage your hands. Really, it is good to just get that touch. If you are single, you maybe don't get that touch from another person. Self-massage is good. It is affordable. You don't have to go to the spa to pay for it. Again, it is a mood booster. Try some self-massage. The next category is going to be breath work. Sometimes we experience a lot of stressful moments while traveling or throughout our daily routine. Breath work can help with this. Meditation, where you are sitting in silence, but this is mindfulness. You are scanning the body, seeing what areas need more work. You can do guided meditation. I used a lady, I'll put her channel in the description box below, where she was actually repeating some affirmations for Black women. That was a good one that I've used, and where you were just focusing on yourself. I do like to do this technique when I am on the plane right before we take off. You can, get your pinky and your thumb, put it on one nostril, breathe in a few seconds, pause for a few seconds, let it out. On the other nostril, I'm going to show you in the video how I do it here. You'd be amazed how quickly if your heart was beating fast, how you can slow it down by just doing breath work. You can work up to do it longer if you were just lying on your back. Sometimes in the airport, if they have a chapel, I would like to go and do it there. That way I'm not disturbing, the other denominations who are there. I'm not saying you get on the floor and start doing child's pose. You sit down, you close your eyes, hit your pose, and you're breathing in and out, okay? This has helped me with panic attacks, stressful episodes or moments. It is very powerful, the meditation. Also, worship and prayer to whomever it may be for you. As I mentioned in the chapel, there are the mats for the Muslims. They have the Bible for Christians, and of course, for the Catholics. Take those moments, whoever you are worshiping, whoever you are praying to, connecting with a higher power, it can bring clarity and peace into your life. Deep intentional breathing, it is known to calm down the nervous system. So this is why I am saying these breathing techniques, it can greatly help you. Also, breathing in the essential oils. I mentioned that if you were going to do the hot, warm bath, specifically peppermint or lavender, those are going to be great if you want to just drip some of them into the bath. If I am going to be in flight before we take off, I would like to dab a few drops of the essential oil on my wrist. I inhale them. It is an additional way for me to calm my nerves while I'm on a flight. Last week, I was traveling all around. It was about a total of 4 flights. I didn't want to tell you it was Frontier because I told y'all not to fly it. But look, I was trying to get to Dallas. It was important for my nephew's birthday. The turbulence was a little out of hand. I started holding the armrest and I was like, Janelle, pull it together, pull it together. You got to make it back so you can record this video for the subs. Typically, I'm not scared of flying, but the turbulence, it does put me on edge, y'all. And at that time, I don't know where I had put the peppermint oil. It was not readily available. So I was just like, ugh. And sometimes passengers can make you more on edge too. The way that they react can cause you to be even more in a panic state. Do these techniques and you can bring your heart rate down. This category, I'll just call it nature. Spending time outdoors is definitely a way for you to lift your spirits. I am talking about grounding, where you are maybe gardening, where your hands are moving around in the soil, or where you are walking around barefoot. You're connecting with the earth. This has been known to help with jet lag. I've done it in the snow. I've done it in the summertime in the desert. It could be a great way to boost your health too. I recently have been sick. I thought my voice was going to be gone. I didn't do as much grounding as I would have liked, but thankfully I have recovered and I'm back here on the channel talking to y'all. It is good to spend time in the sun. Later in the year, I'm going to be talking about seasonal depression, some ways that you can work around that when the sun is not available. So when you are getting the sun, go outside. I like to do yoga in the sun. I told y'all beach yoga, spending time by water. Oh, it's like I don't know what the gamers call it, like a power boost. Sitting in the sun, I'm doing the yoga, I'm doing the mindful meditation, I'm by the water. Come on. How can you have a bad day after all of those things? And don't make me get some essential oil aromatherapy going. I'm talking about zenned out. So it is good to ground yourself. Also, a tip I would say for you to boost your mind, your body, your spirit is going to be to take a break from social media. A social media detox is going to be key here. I'm talking about the news, whatever channels you are following. I know that there are gossip pages where all they are spewing out is negativity and toxicity. I, as a content creator, like to read about the drama, but I do know that it does not make me feel full or at peace. Take some time off of the socials, do some of these mindful strategies, implement those into your routine. I feel like these categories can be interchangeable. This next one, if you're doing all of these, it is going to boost your spirit, your mind. It's going to make you feel better in your body as well. This is going to be traveling, taking a trip, doing something out of the norm. It's always going to lift your spirits. It has for me many times, and no matter if it's domestic or international. If you're not able to leave the country, you could try to see a new place, explore your own city, do something new. You probably have heard the saying, travel is therapeutic, it is therapy. And I would like to say a lot of the people that I've met, whether it's online or in person, who regularly travel, their spirits are pretty high. They're not as depressed. Now, in the future, I will be talking about the post travel blues. What do you call it? Reverse culture shock. That's going to be an interesting topic to get into, especially if you've lived abroad. But for now, I'm just saying ways of self care would be to take that trip. Building the community, interacting with others. This is something I am trying to do better with, whether it is your family, your friends, just creating time. I know you have your busy schedules, whether it's once a week, once a month, where you guys can get together. It's good to have that laughter, that joy around your loved ones. Music. I mentioned having a playlist earlier if you were doing the warm bath, but just listening to music, taking time to do that 30 minutes to an hour a day, it really can lift your spirits. For Black History Month, I had an excellent playlist. I will leave in the description box for you. It was over 200 songs, y'all, and it helped me get through. I have a couple of videos that I did for Black History Month. Now that it's Women's History, I'm gonna just see if I can sprinkle some of that in there. That playlist, it was really awesome. And of course, remember to nourish your body. Nourishment is self-care. Whether you are cooking a new meal, maybe something that is your favorite, you could even be making something that you learned while traveling. I love pinto gallo. I love the egg and tomato. When I was living in China, I ate that all of the time. Whatever you enjoy, eating is going to give yourself nourishment. When I went to I call it Trump country, but I went to the getaway cabin. It's now known as Postcard Cabin. I was there alone and I had the woods, this tiny house to myself. It was a great way for me to have self care. I did blanket yoga. I tried to start a fire, it took hours. And no, I was not successful. I cooked my own meals, and it was just a great way for me to reset. I think this is something that I'm going to hopefully do yearly with the channel, just reflecting. I built this channel brick by brick on the content that I was putting out at the end of the year, and for me to keep pushing forward, with that grit, that tenacity. Anyways, that is a good way where you are with yourself. I know sometimes people have an issue when they are not traveling with others, but you need to learn to enjoy your own company. And you can do that with the Postcard Cabin. Future video on that to come. Water. Hydration is healing. In my previous video, I was talking about drinking half a gallon a day, whether it's 1.5 to 2 liters a day. Especially if you're traveling, try to do more. If you're out in the sun where it's a lot of sweat, you want to be able to hydrate your body. That is definitely going to help. While I was sick, I thought my voice was gone, and I just kept drinking, drinking, drinking. I drank so much water, and now it doesn't even sound like I had that hacking cough. Even on the plane, I always talk to you guys about how I carry the portable water bottle. I refill it at the water station in the airport, and then I take it with me on the plane. Because when you're flying in high altitudes, you can get dehydrated. That's not good for anyone, okay? So you want to make sure that you are drinking your water. Also, writing can help. All right. Write your thoughts, how you're feeling down. You can do this by journaling. I mentioned affirmations earlier. You can write your own, or you can write down ones that people have done. I was on a website, I'll put it down in the description box for you, and they have affirmations dedicated to different aspects of our lives for Black women. I thought that was amazing. I'm going to hopefully circle back to those. If you are finished with the affirmation, journaling your thoughts, try to write some notes of gratitude, what it is that you're grateful for in your life currently. Even if you're feeling down, there is something for you to be grateful and thankful for. And lastly, I am going to recommend reading a book. This is something I need to do better with. I've been stuck on Angela Duckworth Grit. I was recommended this and I started it, and I was like, man, do I have grit? Do I have tenacity? I'm going to finish that book, y'all. I've got to finish it. But reading books, whether it's self help, it can help you gain wisdom. You can obviously build your vocabulary. Empowerment books are great. You can read your Bible, audiobooks, just that you can further your learning with. Let me go back to community. I mentioned spending time with family and friends. Last year, I had the privilege to go with my friends to Atlanta, and it happened to be October 11th. This is known to be Black Girls Day Off. I want you to mark your calendars for this. This is a day where you can prioritize self-care and your mental health. It actually is the day after National Mental Health Day, I believe, and it was started in 2020 by a group of women to prioritize their mental health and self-care. We went around Atlanta. We did a Martin Luther King tour. It was very enlightening. You know, Atlanta is just a Black city. It is good for you to travel to those places where you are going to feel comfortable and welcome. And you can look at my previous video where I was talking about the reality of traveling solo as a Black woman. In this case, I was with my friends. You know, we ate a lot of food, just hung out. We did the town ATL. I want to close out by saying you deserve rest. As Black women, you are expected to pour into everyone around you, uplifting the community. But at the same time, you end up diminishing your own light. And that is where we need to be careful. Prioritizing your self care, it is not a luxury. This is a necessity. You need to make it a ritual, whether it's once a year, once a month. You know, sometimes it gets hard, maybe once a week. Right now, I'm trying to do it maybe once a month. All of these points, these tips are ways for you to manage the stress, the anxiety, the depression, the fear, whatever feelings that you are navigating on this road we call life. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave me some tips below how you are going to implement self-care into your life. Maybe there's some that I missed. And don't forget to click here if you want to see more travel guides. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you next week.